Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the flag of the United States of America by the Honor Guard of the United States Park Police. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States. I pledge allegiance Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the National Park Service and all of the women and men who care for the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. My name is John Piltzecker. I'm the Superintendent of Statue of Liberty National Monument in Ellis Island. And our national parks are special places, set aside by the American people so that all might experience our heritage. Our national parks range from majestic open spaces like the Grand Canyon and Yellowstone National Park to places that help us understand our history and our heritage, like the Martin Luther King Jr. birthplace in Atlanta, the Gettysburg Battlefield in Pennsylvania, and the National Museum of Immigration at Ellis Island, to national monuments like the Washington Monument, Mount Rushmore, and the Statue of Liberty. The new Statue of Liberty Museum is the most important project to be undertaken on Liberty Island since the major restoration of the Statue of Liberty by the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation over 30 years ago. And building a new museum on Liberty Island presented a daunting set of challenges: limited space, the need to conform to the historic landscape of the island, environmental challenges like storm surges, and the need to tell the story of the Statue of Liberty, its history and its meaning in new and engaging ways. The new Statue of Liberty Museum has risen to meet these challenges and stands as a testament to the power of imagination and partnership. My sincere thanks to the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation and all of you for playing a role in making this project possible. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Chairman of the Board of the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation, Mr. Albert Bellis.
Thank you very much, John. Good morning and welcome to our dedication of the new Statue of Liberty Museum. I am delighted that all of you could join us today. As a board member and now chairman, I've been lucky enough to take part in many events and celebrations of our beautiful treasure, our incredible Lady Liberty. However, none, I feel, have been more special than this morning's dedication ceremony. The concept of a Liberty Museum to enhance the visitor's experience was first discussed at the board in 2015. Since that time, working with the National Park Service, we finalized architectural details, fundraised the necessary $100 million cost, and completed the construction on budget and on time. And of course, this beautiful museum was built using the latest innovations of sustainable construction. We are confident that whatever storm may come her way, the Statue of Liberty's story will continue to be told. Our 4-year effort could not have been possible without the support of many people working together. Our dedicated board, the National Park Service, our committed staff, and our construction team. And I sincerely thank you all on behalf of the foundation. The new Liberty Museum is the latest effort on the part of our foundation to assist the National Park Service in preservation and maintenance of both Liberty Island and Ellis Island. Since 1982, the foundation has raised over $950 million for the many restoration and maintenance projects we have undertaken. We are the most successful public-private partnership in U.S. history. Our wonderful new museum provides more visitors than ever before the ability to immerse themselves in our shared American heritage, values, and ideals. The Statue of Liberty belongs to all of us. It is the greatest symbol of the American dream of individual freedom and personal opportunity in the world. It is more than just a rags to riches cliche, and represents, as James Adams so eloquently stated, a social order in which each man and each woman shall be able to attain the fullest stature of which they are innately capable. This new Statue of Liberty Museum will help ensure that Lady Liberty's message will continue to be heard for generations to come. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us this morning. It is an honor to welcome you to Liberty Island and to the new Liberty Museum, and I hope you will enjoy exploring our new museum for its many lessons and gifts. Now, I'd like to ask our President and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Steve Briganti, to join the podium. This project could have not been accomplished without his many efforts. So thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Good morning. For over 3 centuries, a steady stream of men, women, and children followed the beacon of liberty which this light symbolizes. They brought us to strength and moral fiber developed in a civilization centuries old, but fired anew by the dream of a better life in America. They brought to one new country the cultures of 100 old ones. That was President Franklin D. Roosevelt at the 50th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty, October 28, 1936. More recently, in a letter to Ed Schlossberg, dated yesterday, Ed is the designer of this museum's exhibitry, former President Barack Obama wrote, "There is much to reflect on and much to celebrate about the evolution of Liberty Island during the last several decades. It serves as an ever more poignant reminder of the extraordinary diversity of opinions and experiences that make up our national character, of our common sense of purpose and our inherent goodness, all of which have always defined who we are as Americans." Barack Obama, written yesterday. So welcome all, on behalf of the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation, to the dedication and opening of the Liberty Museum. It seems like just yesterday that we were discussing ideas for a potential Statue of Liberty Museum, then sending out RFPs to several architects to see who could best incorporate our thoughts into a museum building that fit the small amount of land we had available and the height restrictions. We would not build higher than the fort of the statue, and we would in no way compete with the statue itself. Once we settled on a general concept, hired an architect, got a plan developed, and built a model, we were off to Washington to present to the National Park Service Director and his team, and came away with a unanimous move forward. This is the 5th major project for the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation since 1982, when President Reagan asked Lee Iacocca to start up a nonprofit organization to restore and improve both islands. And that's just what we've done. We restored the Statue of Liberty for its centennial in 1986, staged the centennial, restored Liberty Island, and then moved to Ellis Island, where we restored 5 buildings and built 4 major centers, leading to Ellis Island being designated the National Museum of Immigration. There are so many people involved, and I thank them all on behalf of the American people. Since I can't call out each person, let me thank the board of the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation first, and also the staff of the Statue of Liberty Ellis Foundation, and the staff of the National Park Service. Together, they really worked miracles in getting this place built and open. So thank you all. And on this day of dedication, allow me to recognize our key contractors, whose work will now live in history. Nick Garrison of FX Collaborative. Why don't we just hold our applause until the end, and then they'll all get up and we'll give them a round of applause. Ed Schlossberg of ESI Design, Doug Phelps of Phelps Construction, and Wajdi Atala of SBI Consultants. Gentlemen, please stand and be recognized for the wonderful work. Yeah. This was a great team, and as Albert said, on budget, on time. The Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation is a nonprofit organization, and ever since our initial Statue of Liberty project in 1982, we have had a guideline that was set by President Reagan that we are not allowed to take any money from any government. Not that we wouldn't have liked to. So how do you go about raising $100 million to build this beautiful new museum? You turn to the American people, to corporations, and foundations for their help. We thank the tens of thousands of Americans who gave an average of $35, as we do those foundations and generous corporations who gave large gifts so that we could get the project started. But how to rally all these groups to support us? Lee Iacocca had done it in our early years, but now it seemed to me we needed a woman, one who was an immigrant herself and had achieved the American dream. Who else could that be but Diane von Furstenberg? But how to get her interested? I had met her at a museum opening in Antwerp, so I called her and asked if she would see me. We talked. She didn't say yes, but she did give me a copy of her book. In it, I discovered that her mother, who had survived the Holocaust, referred to Diane as, quote, "You are my torch, my flag of freedom." Torch? Flag? Freedom? As I read on, I came across her arrival in America, and she wrote, "I insisted on sailing. I wanted to take the time to visualize my new life and arrived slowly in New York Harbor. Past the Statue of Liberty, like any immigrant with the American dream. Aha, now I thought, I've got her. How can she turn me down?" So I went back with the quotes from her book, and she said yes, and how lucky for us. Now her name enters the list of those who have made Statue of Liberty history. De Laboulaye, the philosopher, Bartholdi, the sculptor, Gustave Eiffel, whose work, ironwork inside the statue, created her rib cage. Joseph Pulitzer, who raised the final American dollars for the pedestal. President Cleveland, who provided at her installation. Franklin Roosevelt at her 50th, and Ronald Reagan at her 100th. And of course, our founding father, Lee Iacocca. So ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my great pleasure to thank her for leading our successful fundraising and present to you the latest addition to the legend of the Statue of Liberty, Diane von Furstenberg.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Stevens, for your kind words. But most of all, thank you for taking me on this incredible journey. I mean, I was hard to get, but once he got me, it was me who constantly called him to say thank you. I want to congratulate the board of directors, our superstar superintendent, John Pritzker, and all the wonderful people who take care of Liberty and Ellis Island. The architect, Nick Garrison, at Schlossberg, and the people at ESI who designed the museum and helped us to conceive the donor wall with my artist, Anne Duong, and that through that wall, we got the money. I want to thank all of the donors for their generosity, and most of all, for their emotional connection to the symbol of Lady Liberty. Raising money is not something I like to do or that I am particularly good at, but I very soon discovered that advocating for Lady Liberty was an open path to people's hearts. As a result, the museum is a reality. It turns out that Liberty Enlightening the World, which is her official first name, does not only have a torch, she also has a magic wand. Becoming the godmother, I insisted upon that title, that's how I got it, has been a privilege of a lifetime, and it has taken me in the most fascinating adventure that has allowed me to make the museum a reality, to make a book with the historian Robert Belot, a documentary for HBO, and an augmented reality app with Apple. I recommend you to download Statue of Liberty on Apple. It's free. From Edouard de la Bouée, a French scholar and teacher of the American Constitution, who had the idea of making this gift to America, to Frederick August Bartholdi, the ambitious sculptor whose dream it was to build the largest statue in the world, I discovered the true meaning of what they set out to do: celebrate freedom. The Statue of Liberty is a manifestation of that dream. She belongs to everyone. It was the people of France who raised the money for the statue. And then when she arrived in America, thanks to Joseph Pulitzer's idea, it was the people of America who raised the money for the pedestal. It has always been the people who make it happen. And this is why the Statue of Liberty belongs to everyone. Like the sun, she warms us all. She is the symbol of freedom, hope, inclusiveness. She is the American dream. But on the day she was inaugurated in 1886, that dream was not a reality for all people. At the time, women were not allowed to vote, and the suffragettes protested the opening. And certainly, in Jim Crow's South, African Americans did not feel included in the American democracy. Today, she is a reminder of how we have come a long way and a beacon of where we must go. She is the ideal of our country to live up to. And this museum is a remarkable testament to that ideal, to her incredible story, and to all of the dreams that she embodies. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. It's been a great ride. My job is now to introduce the mayor, but before I do that, I would like to introduce a couple of other people. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul has just joined us, and we welcome her. And the First Lady of New York City, Shirlane McCray. And Mr. Mayor, you think you're the only mayor in town? Well, we've got the mayor of Milan here, all right? The mayor of Milan, Giuseppe Sala. What a pleasure it is for me to welcome back to Liberty Island the Mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio. The Mayor was with us when we broke ground for the Statue of Liberty Museum back in October of 2016, and we're thrilled that he can be here today for the museum's dedication. Bill was elected Mayor of New York City in 2013 and re-elected in 2017. Those years corresponded with the development and the building of the Statue of Liberty Museum. Of course, the Statue of Liberty is a national symbol. In fact, it's a world symbol. But most of all, it's the symbol of New York City. And that makes it a great honor for me to introduce the 109th Mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio.
Thank you so much, Steve. Everybody, there are so many people who brought us this moment. You've heard so many names called out, and there are so many more. But I want to dwell on Stephen Briganti for a moment, because this is extraordinary to me. 37 years, for 37 years, he has labored to make sure that the statue and Ellis Island, now this great museum, would be all that they were meant to be for the people of this country and this world. This is the ultimate definition of a labor of love. Could we just thank Stephen Briganti for all he has done? Now, everything I said to you was 100% factual and objective. But I have to share with you that I have another strong connection and strong feeling for Stephen Briganti, because he is my cousin. And we both, our families hail, the Briganti family, from a small town called Grassano in the region of Basilicata in southern Italy. And the town of Grassano is distant and way up a mountain. It's not a town that's ever been rich. It's a hard scrabble place. And our common ancestors came from there. And at this moment, I think of them. I think of my grandmother, Anna Briganti. I think of my grandfather, Giovanni de Blasio. I think of Shirlane's grandparents, who came from St. Lucia and Barbados to New York, Valdemar Edwards and Irene Quashie Edwards. We think of the people whose shoulders we stand on. And we think of their bravery. We think about what it must have been to board that ship bound for the unknown, to have the bravery, to have the strength to believe that they could create something new in a different land. We honor them today. And it certainly says something about the greatness of America that two cugini here have both been able in our own ways to serve and give back, and that this country continues to embrace all of us no matter where we come from. I want to thank all the others who made this day possible. I have to say, we have only scratched the surface of the contribution, the energy, the focus that was brought to this effort by that force of nature known as Diane von Furstenberg. Thank you, Diane. And to Albert Bellis and John Piltziker, and Dan Smith, and to the elected officials who are with us from far and wide, Lieutenant Governor, thank you, and Sindaco, ciao, benvenuto a New York. So this museum, like the Statue of Liberty itself, it's a beacon of hope, of unity, and of understanding. It tells a story, and it's not just the story of a monument, it's the story of a people. It's the story of everyday people, working people. It's not about the famous names, it's about the unknown names, the forgotten names who came here from so many countries, the countless people who built up this nation, who we have to every day honor and remember. All they asked for was a chance to work hard and be rewarded fairly. And we owe everything to them. Today, with that history in mind, we have to acknowledge that we're grappling with a set of realities right before our eyes. The America of 2019 needs this museum. It needs everything that this museum, this statue represents. We need to be reminded. Because we're in an identity crisis right now as a nation, and we're figuring out who we are. And it's not the first time it's happened in our history. There have been plenty of moments where we had to decide what was our truest nature. And it can be painful. It could be a difficult moment in our common American experience when we have these questions, we have these doubts. But so much of this challenge, so much of this question is tied up in the notion of immigration itself. But in so many ways, immigration is the founding and unifying element of the American experience. It's so much of what it means to be American. Immigration defines us, and therefore it shouldn't divide us. And we can't, as a people, be at peace. We can't be truly secure when we're in conflict with ourselves. So we have to figure this out together. We have to come to peace with who we are. And there are American values we need to return to and fight for in order to achieve our greatest potential. And it's a time to bridge and heal. And that's what we celebrate today. And that starts right here in the shade of this magnificent beacon, which has stood for all of us for so long as the greatest symbol of unity and common humanity the world has ever known. My friends, my sisters and brothers, it does take hard work. It takes a lot of work. But all we need to remember is this. This is who we are. And as was said in that pledge in the beginning, one nation, indivisible. We celebrate that today. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the man who has been running the National Park Service since January of 2018, Dan Smith. In his role, Dan leads 20,000 employees who protect and preserve 417 national parks and helps communities preserve local history and create close-to-home recreational opportunities. The Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island are a unit of the National Park Service. Dan has held a number of positions in the National Park Service and the Department of Interior, with his most recent position being Superintendent of Colonial National Historical Park, where amongst other things he managed the Jamestown Settlement and the Yorktown Battlefield site. So it is my pleasure to introduce the Deputy Director of the National Park Service with authority as a director, Dan Smith.
I don't know about speaking last at these events. You all are a very hard act to follow. But I am here in my role as the Deputy Director exercising the authority of the Director of the National Park Service on a glorious day on this island. I would be remiss if I did not introduce some of my immediate staff who are here to celebrate this event with us. First, I'd like to introduce Gay Vitsky, our Regional Director for the Northeast region. Okay. Joshua Laird, our unbelievably busy Commissioner of New York Harbor. You've seen so many of our staff around today. Also, all of our members of the U.S. Park Police who serve here so well every day. And it gives me I also, because Steve, you didn't do it, are the other members of the board of the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation present? Would you please stand up, because you are our partners in this endeavor, and I'd like you to be recognized. Excuse me. Steve, again, thank you for that introduction. It's truly my honor to be here today to recognize the extraordinary work that the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation has done to make this museum a reality. Since it was established in 1982, the foundation has raised almost $1 billion. Let me say again, that's with a B. $1 billion for the National Park Service projects here at the Statue of Liberty on Liberty Island and on Ellis Island. And it stands as one of the most, if not the most successful public-private partnerships in U.S. history. Here on Liberty Island, we stand in the shadow of one of America's most enduring icons, and we do stand in her shadow. 4.5 million visitors from around the world come here every year to see for themselves the great Statue of Liberty enlightening the world. Personal note, I was raised on Governor's Island in the 1950s when it was 1st Army Headquarters at Fort Jay. My younger brother was born on Governor's Island. My older brother, 2 years older than me, I have fond memories of the nights when my parents, my older brother and myself would walk down the bulwark towards the statue, my younger brother in his stroller, and my mother would say, "Boys, wave good night to the lady." I remember that like it was yesterday, and it was many years ago. I also was in the Interior Department in 1982 when all this came about, and I didn't travel up in 1986 for the unbelievable, wonderful events on Ellis at the statue with Steve right there in the forefront for that glorious day. I was the one person who stayed behind to run the federal government. But I was here on October 28th on a blustery day that same year with Secretary of Interior Don Hodel when we came here to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. And I met with Steve very shortly after I came to Washington and told him I was going to get to the statue. Well, Steve, here I am. For the National Park Service, it is our sacred honor to protect, preserve, and share this and hundreds of other sites across the country on behalf of the American people. We do this not only to celebrate their majesty, but also to tell the stories that live in these places. The stories we must remember, the stories that tell the world who we are and what we stand for as Americans. This new museum will help us do exactly that. Until today, only 20% of the visitors could experience the interior of the monument, which includes a small museum. The rest of those who visit this space can only marvel at the beauty of the statue from outside. By relocating, updating, and expanding the museum, we will offer all the visitors to Liberty Island a richer experience and an opportunity to understand the history and significance of this important monument. As I said before, the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation is a model for what public-private partnerships can accomplish on behalf of the American people. And although words can never express our gratitude for the hard work and generous investments you have made to make this museum possible, I want to offer one measure of our thanks here today. Stephen Bugatti is the president and CEO of the Statue of Liberty Ellis Island Foundation. Under his visionary leadership, the foundation has created this beautiful space for all Americans and visitors from around the world to enjoy. And so, Steve, if you could join me here at the podium. It gives me unbelievably great pleasure to present to you the National Park Service's Directors Partnership Award to the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island Foundation, and also to you personally as the President and CEO of that foundation. And to thank you, my friend, for this unbelievable partnership. I'm gonna take these back because I do have frames for them, but I didn't get them here in time to be framed, so I apologize. Steve, we will get these to you post haste. Okay. I can't think of a more deserving recipient of this award, and I am so glad that I was able to be here on that promised visit to present it to you, my friend. Thank you all very much, and God bless America.
Born and raised in New York City, previously seen as Sandy Cheeks in SpongeBob the Musical, and now a Tony nominee for Best Featured Actress, playing Julie Nichols in the musical Tootsie, please welcome Lilli Cooper.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have to find my page, I apologize. As we celebrate the continuing legacy of the Statue of Liberty, we would also like to take this opportunity to honor an immigrant who embodied her symbols of opportunity and freedom to the fullest. Irving Berlin immigrated to New York with his family while fleeing persecution, the pogroms, passing by the Statue of Liberty on his way to Ellis Island. He would become a symbol of the American dream. As Jerome Kern once said, Irving Berlin has no place in American music. He is American music. Over his 8-decade career, Berlin produced an outpouring of ballads, dance numbers, and love songs that defined American popular song for much of the century, including White Christmas, Cheek to Cheek, There's No Business Like Show Business, and Puttin' on the Ritz. In a class all its own, in Berlin's pantheon of American patriotism, God Bless America, which celebrates the symbol of freedom and hope that America has come to represent. All I hope for God Bless America, he said in 1940, is that it will continue to be popular, especially in these days when so many people feel a need for some vocal expression of their patriotism. In 1949, Berlin paid special tribute to America's iconic symbol of the freedom with his musical, Miss Liberty. For the musical's finale, Berlin set a keystone of American history, Emma Lazarus's sonnet engraved on a plaque within the Statue of Liberty's pedestal, the new Colossus to his own music. We honor Irving Berlin on this important day, both as an immigrant who loved this country and as a songwriter who changed the face of American music forever. Thank you.
And now, singing Give Me Your Tired, Your Poor, please welcome former star of Broadway's Hamilton and In the Heights, currently appearing in the final season of Shadowhunters on Freeform, and advocate and activist for LGBTQ+ rights, Javier Muñoz.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses longing to be free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside be free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Give me your tired, your poor, your masses yearning to be free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Please welcome to the stage two-time Tony Award nominee for her radiant performances on Broadway in Rogers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, Bandstand, Bonnie and Clyde, and South Pacific. Laura Osnes singing Blue Skies and Shaking the Blues Away.
There's an old superstition way down south. Everybody believes that trouble won't stay if you shake it away. When they hold a revival way down south, everybody with care and trouble that day tries to shake it if you are blue, it's easy to shake off your cares and troubles. Telling the blues to go, they may refuse to go, but as a rule they'll go if you'll shake them away. Do like the voodoos do, listen to a voodoo melody. They shake their bodies so to and fro. With every shake, a lucky breakthrough, and that there's a way to chase your cares away. If you would lose your weary blues, shake them away. I was blue, just as blue as I could be. Every day was a cloudy day for me. Then good luck came a-knocking at my door. Skies were gray, but they're not gray anymore. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Nothing but the days hurrying by when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies, nothing but blue skies, nothing but blue skies. From now on, do 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 do.
And now, please welcome back to the stage, Tony-nominated for her performance in Tootsie, singing God Bless America, Lilli Cooper.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
Folks, this is a bit of a symbolic ribbon cutting that we'll be doing. I'm going to take the end of this. Dan, did you have something else you wanted to mention up here?
I do. Can I cut through?
Yeah.
I apologize. My wife says I sometimes get ahead of myself, and I did today. As I was doing introductions, I forgot that my good friend and colleague, who is here with us today, who has been renominated by the President of the United States to become the 19th Director of the National Park Service, David Vela, is here with us today. David, it's just Dan being Dan, and I apologize.
Devin M. Big scissors.
I'm fine here, Mr. Mayor. You let that superintendent do it.
Okay. Got it? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Statue of Liberty Museum is now open to the public.